Should we talk about Sleep Token?
Who?
Oh, just the 4 songs, please.
Everyone's talking about them at the moment, so we may as well join in, I guess.
Shall we start at the beginning?
Yes, let's.
So the first song they released was Chokehold. What do we think after not hearing some music for them for quite a while and this kind of coming out of nowhere, unless you kind of knew people in the right places on like the Discord channels, you weren't expecting this at all. So what did you think when you first heard it?
It was exactly what I expected it to sound like, but it was still really exciting, if that makes sense. And it still it was unpredictable in a predictable way. Do you know what I mean? I guess because the only thing that there is to expect from them is that it's going to be unexpected, I suppose, which I know is sort of a silly thing to say, but I think just to have a song that starts particularly just with such a strong emphasis on his vocals, and like a lot of their songs, it's a slow burn, big build up to get to where it's going, but the journey is always as important as the destination with Sleep Token songs, and it's just a song that is... Funny enough, the song has me in a chokehold because I'm listening to it all the time. Yeah, I think it was the perfect choice to sort of kickstart the new era, and I loved it.
I think this song would make a really great Bond theme.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, it's kind of got that kind of cool, like, almost sexy, just chilled out, but also kind of
got a bit of sneakiness,
spooky and sneaky. It's just such a cool song. And I think one of the main reasons that Sleep Token songs are so addictive is, I think, the vocal melody. Like the even if it hurts me a bit on this, like the do. I think that's what kind of hooks people in. You've got other genres like metalcore. People are brought in for like the call to the mosh pit kind of bit before a breakdown. Pop punk, it's all about the hooks and the angry finger pointing. With whatever Sleep Token are doing, it's all about that vocal melody, and I think that's what's hooking people in and getting people addicted.
I mean, there's not much else to add apart from that, to be honest. Like from what you said, there's that wonderful ambience and atmospheric intro that I feel also just kind of pulls you in, and something you kind of get to know with Sleep Token is that they have those moments, and it's that build, that anticipation that really knows like you're in for something great as well. I don't think you can ever really go into it feeling disappointed knowing that there's a Sleep Token single coming out and what to expect. You'll see it's dropped, it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Music, whatever it is, and you're like, okay, I'm in for something here. You know it's going to be good and you're not going to be let down. I love the instrumentation in particular of this, especially the drum work. It feels like it's just a really strong driving force. Just as soon as it kind of all comes in, starting off with the crash cymbal and then that slight move across to the China cymbal and just dropping the beat slightly. It just has so much power behind it and just such a strong track and a great way to kind of set off this album cycle.
The next song we got after that was The Summoning. Heavy.
We like heavy.
Chunky. Very fun. Sorry.
Chunky times 3.
Chunky times 3. What do you guys think of it?
So,
love it.
What are they doing?
Chunky.
What do they think they're doing, man? Like, they literally just do whatever they want. They've put out just heavy. There's like some outrageously heavy parts to this, like some driving double bass, like incredible riffs, just breakdown after breakdown, and then I don't know what they're doing at the end, but I love it.
Bring in the funk.
Yeah, it's insane, isn't it? But like, again, like some people could probably say that it's out of place or jarring, but it's like once you've heard it once, I think you fully accept and understand why it's there and enjoy it.
The second time you're grooving.
Yeah.
I think
you're down for it.
To new Sleep Token fans, it could be jarring, but like Alex was saying when we talked about the Chokehold a second ago, the only thing that you can expect from Sleep Token is the unexpected. So this is exactly the kind of thing they do, and I'm fully here for it.
I think in particular with this one, although there's the heaviness, which is the instant attraction to it, there's such a range in tone, in dynamics, in vocal range of notes that you can hear from Vessel's performance that I think does go under the radar, because you automatically hear the heaviness and you'll go back to The Offering, you go back to Hypnosis, you go back to all those kind of pit moments when you see live and know that when you see The Summoning, you're going to get that. But I think Vessel's performance in this does fly under the radar from that.
There's a bit, I think it's in the second chorus, where he holds the word like, and it goes up about like 6 to 8 times, I think, until it's just like dog whistle level.
It is incredible. And like you mentioned with the drum work, Dan, it's absolutely beautiful. The double bass work, again, pushes the song forwards and works beautifully with the dissonant guitars. Even hearing Vessel put some of the screams in after the first chorus, you kind of don't expect that necessarily. It gets dropped into Sleep Token music on the odd occasion, and hearing that,
we've not heard it like this since Gods, I don't think.
No, but in hearing that, you just think, oh, okay, and you know that like shit's going down and this is getting serious.
The third song we got was Granite. This is my favourite of the 4.
You know what? I think I'm with you on that.
I
don't know if it's because of the summoning. Everyone talking about the summoning is that I back the underdog. But there's something about Granite that is so addictive and just keeps pulling me back in. And again, I think it's down to the vocal melody.
Yeah. There is something really, really addictive about the way this whole song sort of like sneaks through you. Like, and it's like, I don't know, it's the way that some of the vocals are delivered. Like, when he delivers the line, I was more than just a body in your passenger seat. You are more than just somebody I was destined to meet. It's just hard, sometimes, I don't know, it's hard to put into words, this band, like, other than just, I feel very captivated by this song. This one more than the most of the 4. And I just loved it.
I think the production for this one stands out to me a lot. I love the layered synths and the layered vocals. You're hearing several kind of stacks of this underneath, where it's very carefully thought out from with how they're creating and composing the song, which really adds to that vibe of it being different. I think being the underdog almost, like you said, you kind of get that familiar riffage coming in and the breakdown kind of bursts in at those moments, but you still, it's those moments where they pull back, I think, where it really makes it interesting and the range of Sleep Token can be like really explored, which is fantastic, and I think is one of the main draws to the band.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some people criticising Sleep Token, somewhat fairly, in I think Higher is maybe the best example of this. A lot of their songs, they're beautifully well crafted, but they're a bit of like a proggy template of that. It starts with like just the vocals or just the vocals and a keyboard, and then it kind of builds and builds and builds and builds. Whereas on these new songs, the heavy bit at the end isn't seen as like the whole point of the song. In fact, I think on Granite, I prefer the lighter bit at the start.
Yeah.
And I think they're kind of showing that they don't just have this one trick. They'll do all kinds of stuff and do it really well.
Yeah, and I think that's shown more on Aqua Regia as well, is that that's a song that could have gone that way, where it builds and builds and builds and goes
and
crazy
they
heavy
restrained. They didn't
they
need
restrained,
it.
yeah, and it was more about just sitting back into the vibe of that song and riding it all the way through, which I think is really fun.
My God, I love that piano solo.
You
didn't expect that first time. Well, first time we heard it was seeing it live, and kind of not knowing what was going on, then just seeing Vessel up there and performing it, and then obviously having the chance to listen back to it after it's released. It's just so out of the blue. It's not what you expect necessarily from them, but then again, like we've mentioned a couple of times, what do you expect from them when you get a song? There's always something different to come out of it. But every time I've gone back and listened to that, even if I'm doing something else while kind of just listening to the track and having it on, I pretty much stop what I'm doing just to take it in, because although I guess this is, whether you class it as that or not, they're in the realms of heavy music, of alternative music, of metalcore, of metal, whatever you want to frame them as. But when the fuck do you ever hear a piano solo in that kind of genre, even if it's on like a ballad kind of thing? You don't even hear that in really pop music. That's a very blues kind of thing. It's very old school. It's a jazz thing. It's something you don't hear in popular music nowadays at all. So for them to kind of bring something like that into, I guess, the mainstream with where they're heading with this and the popularity they've had, it's a very bold move and unique, and it's really fucking paid off.
But that's the thing, there's like, the most interesting music comes from when loads of styles and genres are thrown together, and I think that's why Sleep Token have deservedly so had this huge boom recently.
I think this set of 4 songs here is a really, really great showcase of everything that Sleep Token does.
Yeah.
Because you've got the heaviness of the Summoning. You've got kind of maybe the slow build of Granite. You've got just kind of a cool anthem in Chokehold. And then you've got Aqua Regia, which is a bit more of like a chilled out kind of vibe. There's a bit of everything they do here, and it gets me really excited for the upcoming album.
My hope is that a lot of the people that have found Sleep Token through these new songs will now go back and listen through those two albums.
I think a lot of them are, which is great, because it was obviously the Summoning that like grabbed everyone's attention, but from seeing what people are saying online and where they're taking deep dives now into the rest of their discography, they seem to be really like encapsulated.
Yeah.
By what they're listening to, which is exactly what it was like for us when we first really listened to them.
It's good to be able to, like, as it's happening, sort of take note of it, because it felt like for a long time Sleep Token was like this really incredible secret that everyone had kept. And now we can all sort of sing from the rooftops about how amazing they are. And
it's great as well that no one seems to be gatekeeping. Everyone seems to just be really, really pleased that people are discovering Sleep Token.
Because you always get that thing where it's like everyone loves a band until they blow up, and then suddenly like they've sold out or whatever, or like you said, gatekeeping starts. Whereas this has been one of the most like wholesome, like glow up of a band that I've seen in a while, where everyone's just enjoying it. And
my only hope is that the new fans are just as respectful towards the band and like their identities and stuff as existing fans have been.
Yeah, that's the issue, isn't it? Like a band that is anonymous in any way, as soon as things start to get bigger, there's that subsection of the fan base that has this burning desire to unmask them, and I kind of understand it. Like,
and it's fine if you want to go and find out who they are, but don't then spoil it for other people. I guess, and just be respectful.
Yeah,
it's the whole thing. Don't ruin it for them.
Absolutely.